All right, gentlemen, take your seats. Let's get this over before lunch. Floyd Rose of the Homicide Squad has decided to take early retirement. We will all miss Floyd and the steely edge he brought to his police work. The department has arranged a wee drink at the Galway Arms to quench the mighty thirst a man gets from 25 years of police work. Floyd's departure leaves a place at the top table, and the chief has seen fit to promote Cole Phelps from burglary to the homicide desk. Stand up, Phelps. Take a chair. You're in the major leagues now, Sonny. Rusty Galloway, a fine lawman of the old school, will be taking you under his wing. Your first case is the murder of a woman, found last night and bearing all the signs of the werewolf. Get out to the scene, lads.
I just wish he'd hurry up and propose.
Do you have the address?
It's been all over KGPL. It's off Temple Street, between Belmont and Glendale. Watch where you're driving, you maniac!
What happened to Rose?
Parker wants the chief's job. Word is it's either going to be him or Thad Green. So they're both clearing the decks.
So where does that leave you, Galloway?
Leaves me saddled with a chump like you, Phelps. I didn't ask for you, and I don't want you, so keep it to yourself. See if you can learn something about seeing how a real cop operates.
What did he mean by the werewolf?
The Dahlia. The Daily News came out calling him the werewolf killer. The Examiner came up with the Black Dahlia.
We any closer to catching him?
Not a chance. 6 months and hundreds of guys running down leads, and we got nothing.
You don't think this has anything to do with it?
No, I don't. 90% of murders are domestic, Phelps. Some guy gets into a beef with his wife, he takes it too far. This will be the same. But cutting someone in half and leaving them off the sidewalk, that's a one-off.
Why so many women this year?
Because of the war. You should know that. Guy gets to kill people every day in combat. Comes home, he's expected to take lip from his wife. What do you think's going to happen?
It's that simple.
Like I said, most of the time it is. Slow and steady, come on!
Crime scene is just up the dirt road, Detective.
How about a scoop for the Examiner, Galloway? You could use some good press.
Another tramp, another message. Is the werewolf back in business, boys?
Do you have a mother, asshole? A sister? How about showing some respect for this poor woman? Let us do our job, and Detective Galloway will give you a statement later.
He's good, Rusty. He even sounds genuine.
That's Phelps, guys. The war hero. Defending the honor of murdered humps.
They're used to it, Phelps. Moving along, guys. You got your pictures, you got your headlines. Now scram.
Patrolman, this your beat?
Yes, sir. Well, part of it. Kids park here, they use it like a lover's lane. It's a working neighborhood. Some trouble, but nothing like this. It's known locally as the Moors.
You were first on the scene?
Yes, detective.
No one's disturbed the body?
No, sir. We cleared out them vulture reporters so Pinker and the coroner could work. They're waiting to talk to you.
Go house to house and see what you come up with. What can you tell me about the shoe prints?
Men's size 8s. Pinker lifted impressions for me to compare back to the lab.
The victim's bag? Looks brand new. Can't be the one used on the body. Looks like some kind of puzzle or parlor game.
So this time it wasn't that my mic was muted, it's that my mic wasn't plugged in all the way. In short, you missed nothing, because both that thing, but also in-game, I just got assigned to homicide, as we saw in last night's episode. And then, fucking partway through me getting here, I was like, you know what? I've wanted, like, chocolate or some shit for the last few days. I'm gonna pour myself a thing of Pepsi and vanilla whiskey, because that's the closest thing I have in my house. So I'm gonna have this one drink. So I was gone for several minutes for that reason, pouring myself that. And here's everything else that you missed, but I think you were here for it. That, and also size 8 footprint. And tire tracks, as it seems. It's not chocolate, but it's like something sweet without being fruity. Because I'm, like, if I had Fruit Loops here, I still probably wouldn't have it, because I want something, like, sweet, but closer to chocolate than fucking fruity. Oh, whoa, what was that? This is useless.
This isn't what we're looking for.
But yeah. Sorry I'm been a fucking mess recently and not been realizing. I'm sure you can. If I was that desperate, I could, if I was that desperate for chocolate, I could fucking go to CVS, because there's one like 2 minutes down the road. No fucking honestly, I would love some brownies though. But I can always buy or make some. See, it's not doing the doo-doo. Oh, because I didn't check the body. That's why it's not doing the doo-doo-doo sound.
Cause of death?
It could be the head injuries. She has been...
What caused the blunt force injury to the face?
Could be anything from a baseball bat to...
Yeah, sorry I've been fucking...
I'll have more details.
A mess when it comes to streaming properly. Also, yeah, nudity is in this game.
What about this wound on the finger?
Something removed. A ring, most likely.
But,
I assume it was...
they're only during the homicide cases, actually. There was one more thing I was gonna say. Yeah, so I might get... Because I'm trying to, like, be pretty well off as far as spooky games go.
Interesting. What's the writing on the victim?
BD.
So I'm
Dahlia?
thinking about
X? Your guess is as good as mine.
I'm thinking about buying.
Could be something to it.
Eventually,
or it
as
could
you
be the
know, I'm
killer
planning on
trying to
buying
throw you
Resident
off
Evil
the
2
scent.
before Halloween
Either
happens.
way,
But
I'll test on the lipstick.
in
Any idea of
addition,
the
I'm
time
thinking
of
about
death?
buying the Evil
From the
Within,
temperature, I'd
just
say
the
after
first one
midnight.
for right now.
I'll
but
confirm with you later.
When we get to the Bomba, a man could die of thirst in a case like this.
Alright, fuck it. I'm not getting any more clues. But I think this drink is actively scratching that itch that I had for something sweet. Because I accidentally put more whiskey in it than I meant to. But that's more vanilla, so. In the I think it was Jim Beam vanilla whiskey. And it definitely, like, I can tell the whiskey's there, but it's definitely more vanilla than when it is whiskey, I feel like, at least when it's cut
The werewolf?
with
For my money, a copycat.
Pepsi.
We can't rule it out. We need to work the evidence.
You'd love that, wouldn't you? A big head to hang on your wall. Caller of the decade. They've been working evidence on BD case for 6 months and got nicked.
There's a difference, Rusty.
Oh, yeah?
I just started working it today.
Okay, hotshot. What's more likely? The werewolf comes
also
back
Blue
around,
should be
leaving us a note on the
here
corpse?
He
soon,
clearly has a
hopefully.
thing for power. Power over women.
When
Why not power
when I
over
started
the police
streaming, he
department
said
as well?
that he'd be
Finished,
available
though.
in like
A guy
10
opens
minutes.
his mouth again after 6
And granted,
months
it's been
of
more than
schooling.
10 minutes, but I'm
For
sure
some
he'll be here soon.
opportunist who's been reading about the BD figures, he'll rip off the MO and get himself a freebie.
That's not totally fantastic.
The Examiner and the Daily News might be good at coming up with monikers, but they're terrible for police.
Yeah.
There's a reason we didn't get the son of a bitch after the short murder. It was them, locusts.
Where do you think the werewolf killer is now?
Dead by his own hand, stationed somewhere else with the armed forces. San Quentin, another town, another country, who knows? So, Phillips, I understand you want to turn this into a big case.
I mean,
but it
I'm
doesn't
definitely
work
feeling
like
better
that,
than I
right?
was
A case
this
will come and
past
find you.
week.
Can't make it something
Or
it ain't,
2 weeks.
understand?
So you don't think the werewolf
Month
has
even.
continued to operate in the Los Angeles area?
No chance.
I'm definitely
We'll
feeling
find
better. So that's some good news. Maybe that's just because I'm on day 2 of 2 days off. That very well could be part of it. Alright, well, it was nice knowing me. Let's go down.
Cole, come on!
Let's go down here. I'm on day 2 of 2 days off, so that might be part of it.
Easy.
Alright, here we go. We did it. What? So that might be part of it, but in addition to that, it's like I did a little bit of cleaning because I had to, but I did a little bit of cleaning yesterday and today, and I'm feeling pretty good about that. I've been making some leeway in some of my comics, specifically Scooby Apocalypse.
Gentlemen, what can I get you?
Phelps and Galloway,
where I finished the
LAPD.
most recent
Were
volume.
you working here last night?
Yes. How can I
And it
help,
was real good.
officer?
You can start with your name.
I recorded
Garrett
some outros
Mason.
for the
You're
first
the regular bartender on nights?
I'm a
10-ish
temporary
episodes of our
barmaid.
podcast.
I work for an agency. I fill in at bars across town.
Do you remember a woman who came in here last night? 5'7", about 110 pounds, blonde hair, about 40 years of age.
You mean Celine Henry?
You mean Celine Dion?
Yes. Do you know anything about her?
I don't. But the owner, Mr. McCall, serves her most nights. Would you like to speak to him?
I would.
He sits at the back of the club. Wears a hibiscus. You can't miss him. Is there anything else?
Yeah, I have a feeling this week is going
Fire
to wear
away,
me down
Phelps.
again.
I'll stay here
And I'm
and
honestly
move
considering
parts.
calling out on
Pour me 3 fingers of rye.
either Thursday
drove
or
me up
Sunday, depending on how I
Detective
feel.
Phelps, LAPD. We're
But-
investigating the murder of Celine
We'll see
Henry.
what happens.
Do you know her?
Celine?
Mainly just in an attempt to not
Sure, I
have
know her.
the
She
week
and
hit
I
me
and
as hard as it has
Jacob,
been.
her husband, we go way back.
She was here last night?
Sure, she's a regular. Celine is...
But, you know,
Officer?
was
That's the spirit.
a lovely woman.
I
Was Mrs. Henry here with anyone
I feel like
last
with
night?
Not at first.
certain outfits that I have,
Celine
I could
already
probably
had quite
rock
a
an
head start.
ascot.
But she attracted attention?
Certainly. A few gentlemen became very enamored
I'm not
with her
gonna
Bender
try to,
stories.
like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to. But
One
if
in
I see an
particular.
ascot somewhere, I might, like, try it on in an attempt to see how it would look. But, like, fucking where... I'm not gonna run into that situation, so... Was Miss Henry here with anyone last night? Not at first. Oh, sailors! He doesn't look like he's... he kind of looks like he's telling the truth. His squinty eyes. He's, like, squinting as if he's trying not to look at me. I'll trust him.
You know him?
Cool, I got
No.
him.
He's been in a couple of times.
Did they leave together?
Yes.
Because he, like, knows how...
Around 11.
He's, like...
If it helps,
It's
I
like he's
made the
looking at a
guy's
really
license.
bright light. Versus, Cole, who... isn't. To be or not
I think this
to
could be a great help, sir. Thank you.
Oh, I mean, honestly, it could be. See, look at that picture, though. That picture doesn't have him having the squinty eyes. But then you look at him here. It's a little bit more squinty, and then not squinty.
Mrs. Henry appeared
Cole
to be
Phelps
missing a
isn't
ring
squinty.
torn from her finger, but not her wedding finger.
Celine always wore
And then
a
here,
red
immediately,
garnet
he's
ring
squinty again.
on the large side. Larger than life, like Celine herself.
Did she have it a long time?
Sure. Since way
Aren't
back
we
in
all?
her flying days.
Did her husband buy it for her?
No, it was,
Oh, she's lying.
it was before Jacob.
Yeah, he's not being truthful, that's for sure. Do I have proof?
I think you know where the ring came from, and I think you're going to tell me.
Okay. I bought it years ago. I carried a torch for Celine in those days. Guess I always have. Her old man never knew about it.
Alright, knowledge of husband.
You know the husband?
Sure I know Jacob. He was in
You know,
the
L.A.
Corps.
Noire reminds
He
me
met
of it,
Celine on
or
a
actually,
furlough and married her when the war
I
was
suppose
finished.
the comic I'm about to mention reminds me of
Put up
this.
with a load of shit.
Do you think he killed his wife?
Hold on, I want to see how yours
No.
goes. He's not telling
No,
the truth.
not in my opinion.
But then again, he's looking at me dead on. His mouth is moving weird, though. Yeah, he's not.
So if it wasn't
Cool.
Jacob, then you probably let her out of here with the guy who killed her. How do you feel about
recently,
that?
in the last, like, fucking
Stow the
8
attitude,
months,
will ya?
I read the comic,
I
The
tried to
Fade
get on
Out,
to Jacob.
which takes
I
place
rang him up.
in,
Asked him to come
Hollywood.
pick her up like usual. But
in about the 60s.
he refused.
Um,
She picked some night
and
to
it's a
push him over
detective
the edge.
story. It was okay. It was good
Rang him
up
back
until
around
the end.
11:30.
The ending, I just felt like it just,
Got no answer.
well, faded out.
Thanks, Mr. McCall. You've been a big help.
Um,
One more thing. Would you have an address for Celine?
142 North Union Avenue.
Yeah. Just so you know,
knows I
Blue
had to send her
would
home
be
in enough
here, but
cabs to
he's
remember
picking someone up, and that person's running late at work, so.
You drove me up.
Let's get out of here.
Hey, what's the hurry? My stool was just starting to warm up nicely.
Operator, give me R&I.
Putting you through now.
I mean, not really.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
His mom asked him to pick up his mom's boyfriend.
How can I help, Detective?
I need a registered owner on a license plate, 2boy8899.
Yes, Detective. I'll need
But-
to contact the DMV. Shall I relay the details via KGPL?
Please.
I don't know why
Thanks.
his mom couldn't do it, but... Fuck, dude. Fuck.
Ronnie.
How dare you? Only I am allowed to mention feces in this house. Alright, is the guy gonna come out or not? Rusty. Oh, is he in the car? Oh! He's in the car already. Whoops.
Watch it, will you?
You find the booze helps you get through a working day?
Sharp is my
So,
investigatory
I think,
instincts, Phelps.
A smart
compared to
lawyer
Blue,
might
I
use
have
that to throw out anything
a weird
you collect
thing with
there.
alcohol where,
Smart man might know it's
Blue,
unwise to stand
as I've
between
said
the
before, is a
patient and
lightweight.
his medicine.
As long as
But
you're
I
not
feel
falling
like
over,
it's
Rusty, I'll let
different
it slide.
than what
That's mighty
I'm
kind of you, Phelps. You know, you picked the wrong
fucking
job
than
if a
what I
healthy
am.
first offends you, Cole.
We owe it to this
Because I
city
feel like
to do the best we
he
can in this
is,
position. As homicide
like,
detectives,
it
that responsibility
takes a little
is
bit
all
to
the
hit
more
him,
serious.
but it hits him a lot harder when it
It's
does
not
hit him.
political, it's practical.
But
Maybe
for
the men
me,
combing Hollywood Boulevard
a
after the
little
Elizabeth
bit,
Short murder were more interested
like I can
in
start
sniffing
feeling a
out
little
booze
bit pretty
and the
quickly,
clues that would have led to her killing.
but I don't
Yeah,
get
well,
as
if only
drunk,
you'd been there, choir
no matter
boy.
how much I
Betty
drink.
Shore to be alive.
Well, that's
the
not true.
Captain
I
was
could,
spared
if I
Pearl
drank like
Harbor, our
fucking
ancestors wouldn't have tasted the
3/4 of a
forbidden
bottle,
fruit.
obviously, it would
Minor
fuck me up.
syntactical error, Detective
Flashback
Galloway.
to,
I never claimed to be able to prevent crime. I only
flashback
suggested a
to
proficiency in solving them. Guess that's the
day
drink
I got
slowing
back
you
from
down.
vacation.
Oh my
But,
God, brother, oh brother.
I didn't drink
Worst thing I
that
could
much,
ever have
but I did do
imagined.
shots and shit, so it was more concentrated. Anyway, because like I feel like I'm feeling it a little bit right now, and I just started drinking like 10 minutes ago. But oops.
Give me a break.
But you've seen that I can drink pretty consistently. I used to like shots, and then I stopped being in college, and then I just stopped doing shots altogether. And I'll do shots in a party environment, but I will not do shots like if it's just hypothetically if you and I were just hanging out. I'm not gonna be like, oh hey, let's
Jesus, Phelps,
do shots. If it's like, oh hey, a bunch of friends are together trying to get drunk, I'll be like, yeah, let's do it. But if it's just hanging out, I like won't do shots anymore. But yeah, shots got me fucked up. Which is perfectly fine. First time I drank, the main thing I did was shots. The first time I drank Fireball, and I just kept doing shot Fireball. So, but then I started learning, cause that was when I would drink with my brother, and he just had me try what he thought was good, and he'd be like, that would be like a Jack and Coke, or like honey whiskey and Pepsi. Actually, honey whiskey and Dr. Pepper, I think, is what it was. And like shit like that, and he'd drink beer too, and like none of this is doing it for me, and that's why I did shots of Fireball that time. It's because like it was sweet enough that I was able to do it, but once I learned what kind of alcohol I actually enjoy, like hard cider, anything fruity really, and more recently,
I'll try the back door.
flavored alcohol with soda. I know of Danganronpa, but I know literally nothing about it, and at first, I didn't even know that was how it was spelled. So when I read that, I thought it was literal gibberish. I have friends that like Danganronpa though. But yeah, so it took me a little bit to learn what alcohol I enjoyed, but once I did, I'm like, oh, okay. So it
Side
doesn't
window's
just
been
have to
jimmied.
taste like
Looks
sadness.
somebody's creeped the joint.
Nope, not. Fuck. I feel like I should do these, just because I don't have me doing them on the stream, except for the earlier ones that I did. So we'll just let this play out. There's a side story that goes on. I skipped the one yesterday, and I apologize. Or the day before yesterday, I think. I apologize because I was drinking that day, and I was like, "Fuck it, I just want to get through this." But
the fires are cathartic. They
I'm
allow
sorry,
you
fam.
to confront your past.
You said the house would be empty.
Are you taking the medication I have prescribed?
You said the house would be empty. I heard them screaming.
Circumstances were unfortunate. My colleagues had made all the necessary
You
arrangements.
said the house would be empty. You're killing me.
The deaths were unfortunate, but you have dealt with death before.
I want you to come to the clinic and we can deal with
You said the house would be
there we
empty.
go. I kind of want a blue
How
Manania.
can I find peace?
Also, so should I unplug my? That's fine. It's charged enough. I like comic books, as you may know. Specifically DC, but I'm no stranger to Marvel comics as well. Mostly Spider-Man, but I've read a Captain America here and there. What have I read mostly other than Spider-Man? I want to say Captain America because I read some Sam Wilson and some Steve Rogers, but I read like 4 volumes of Guardians of the Galaxy at one point in high school. I read Nova a lot when I was in high school.
Size 9's above average for a lady.
I mean, yeah, but I've seen size 11, so like just because it's above average doesn't mean that's necessarily weird. Green Lantern's DC Comics, but that's what I'm getting into. I recently got into Green Lantern like less than 5 months ago.
Speaks to motive.
And
crime scene evidence
originally they were like,
being the husband.
word was that the guy who directed Mission Impossible Fallout went to Warner Brothers, and Mission Impossible Fallout's a good. Mission Impossible the series, with the exception of Mission Impossible 2, it's fucking primo. If you haven't checked out Mission Impossible 1, 3, 4,
Tiffany.
Sorry, 1, 3, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, there's another one, and then Fallout. I think that's the order. Do it, like, check it out, they're real good. But, the director of Mission Impossible Fallout was like, yeah, no, I went to Warner Brothers and was like, hey, I got a Superman movie, as well as a Green Lantern movie that could tie together.
Incidental.
That I'd like to make for you guys. And to quote him on Twitter, he said that they were more interested in fixing their broken ideas than getting new ones, which was a little bit of a disappointment to me. But as of today, there's been news going around that J.J. Abrams is up to direct.
Why did you kick the door in?
Both a Superman movie and a Green Lantern movie. And I have very much, in the last handful of years, very much grown attached to Superman. In the past few months, grown attached to Green Lantern. So that makes it real fucking cool for me. And I like the Star Trek reboot, the first one, that he directed. I liked Cloverfield, the first one, and 10 Cloverfield Lane. Cloverfield 1 he directed. I liked The Force Awakens he directed. So I'm starting to feel pretty confident about this shit, and I'm like, yo, this... I think he'll do better with Green Lantern than he will with Superman. Hold on. But, I'm still excited. He, back before Superman Returns was a thing, he was going to... Oh, I want this. He was going to, direct a Superman movie called Superman Flyby.
Regular Amelia Earhart.
And
the ring looks distinctive.
Someone that auditioned for it was Henry Cavill back in 2008, the current Superman. But anyway, so that's news that I'm excited for. Also, if you like DC Comics, or not DC Comics, if you like Scooby-Doo and you read comics, which if I remember correctly you do, but if you like Scooby-Doo mainly, and are open to new interpretations, fucking check out Scooby Apocalypse, man. It is a fucking ride. It's a little slow at points, and the writer has an issue where he uses a lot of dialogue at once. Like, he'll have 3 or 4 large text bubbles filled with dialogue in one panel, and it's like a lot. But the story they tell is pretty interesting. I'll give you a general outline of the plot without spoiling the entire thing. This is a rough outline of the first 3 issues, because nothing really happens in the first 2 other than introducing the characters and showing how they get to the into the location they're in. So it's basically the original Mystery Inc. They haven't met each other in this timeline, I guess is what I'll call it. Daphne and Fred work on a TV show that's on the Knitting Channel. That's basically Ghost Adventures or something of the like. Shaggy and Velma work in this technological institute, for lack of a better term, that does experiments, not necessarily harmful experiments, but sometimes harmful experiments. And Scooby-Doo is one of those experiments, along with a handful of other dogs.
Who's asking? LAPD. You're under arrest for the murder of your wife, Celine Henry.
Murder? Celine?
And
dramatics
oh my God.
Shaggy looks after the dogs, which is why he has such an attachment to Scooby-Doo.
What the hell are you talking
anyway,
about?
The plot is these
five
people that we as audiences have met before. We see them under a new light. They've never met each other before.
Jesus.
And what happens when these 5 characters are the last survivors on Earth, when literally every other human being has been turned into a real, actual monster?
I get even the slightest flight risk.
And, like, that's such a cool fucking concept for a Scooby-Doo thing. Like, I loved... spoiler alert for Scooby-Doo Zombie Island. I loved Scooby-Doo Zombie Island when I was a kid because the plot twist of, oh, the zombies are actually real zombies. And the ghosts are real ghosts. And spoiler alert, the ghosts are the good guys. So, like, I loved that shit when I was younger because I was like, oh, shit, that's so cool.
The oldest problem there is. What
and, like, they even did that, and, again, the spoiler alert for the Scooby-Doo movie, the first one. They even did that there where it's like, oh, hey, yeah, no, the monsters are real monsters. They're not people in masks. And, because you have every episode of Scooby-Doo ever, with the exception of some episodes of one particular TV series, which I won't mention. But you have basically every episode of Scooby-Doo ever where it's like, yeah, it's a guy in a mask, a guy in a mask, a guy in a mask. And it's a good formula and it works. But then you're like, no, these are real. These are real monsters they're dealing with. Yeah, I definitely suggested the series is officially over. I buy the volumes and not the singular issues.
So who could have
So
killed
I still need to wait for
Where did she
volume
go
6 to
last
come
night?
out, which will be the final volume. But if you buy individual issues or read individual issues, you can read the whole thing in its entirety.
I don't know.
We know that she drinks.
Fuck.
Jacob. Drunks have regular haunts. Places
So,
they feel relaxed.
I'll get into another thing that it does
Celine
do,
did
and I
most of her
really
drinking at
enjoy.
home.
Because I'm
Didn't
not
have
going to
many
spoil
friends left.
anything.
Not many alcoholics do.
Because there are major plot things that happen. There are
real friends, anyway.
Things.
When did you last see your wife, Mr. Henry?
I'll mention one of them in a minute.
Last night. I went to see her. We talked. Things got a little out of hand. I left.
That's not true. And I know that's not true.
That's a lie, and you know it. You tailed her, watched her come out of a bar, and then beat her to death.
Okay.
Admit it, Henry.
Why would I do that, Detective?
You're off the hook. For now.
They do...
And how are we meant to believe that, Jacob?
They do another
Isn't
thing
looking good for you.
in it that I definitely need to switch outfits into the game.
That nosy bitch from next door, Janie
But they
Morgan.
do a thing in it where at
She'll
the end of
tell you
every
I left.
issue they have a side
And
story
what time?
that takes place
That's all.
outside of
You got
the outside of the universe of everything is monsters.
That goddamn book, spit it
but it
out.
always follows a
Why did you kill her,
Hanna-Barbera
Jacob?
property. Like there's
Things will go
Secret
better if you
Squirrel,
come
there's
clean about
Adam
it.
Ant, there's
That's a lousy thing
actually
to say.
I don't think Snagglepuss
I
was
never
one of them.
Gave
But there
up
is
on my
another
wife.
one, I forget who it is, other than Secret Squirrel and Adamant. But anyway.
You went to her house, you
really?
fought, you beat her, she left, and then you followed her.
Yeah, I got into Green Lanterns a
left
few months
first.
ago.
She tried to batter me with a frying pan.
No, you're good. Yeah, I
Had to
got into
slap
Green
her
Lantern
down.
a few months ago. I started with...
Understandable.
Because I had seen him in...
So you can prove that
Justice
you came back
League
here after you left your wife's place.
Volume 1. New 52 Justice League Volume 1.
I came back
and I was like,
here,
he's
I
good
was
in
here
this.
all night.
He's not, like, standout or anything.
Start work at 6:30.
But most characters... well, hear me out.
Going out type.
Hear me out. Most characters, and it weren't... hold on. Low key, but I can get into that in a minute. Alright, I need to use intuition. Remove an answer. Fuck, I have
You
proof.
called the bar to give yourself an alibi. Then you went after her, beat her, and dumped her in a park. I think you are a sack of shit, Jacob.
Okay, so
You're not going to pin
Okay.
Celine's death on me. I'll take a
so-
lie detector test to prove it.
Before a handful of months ago,
McCall says he
I
called
had
and
read
called and you didn't pick up.
Black
I
Knight,
tried to get her help, and she
is a
laughed in my
prominently
face.
Green Lantern story.
Well, then, of course, she needs me. I'd had
Yeah,
enough.
I mean, I liked the idea of Green Lantern.
Everyone has their limits.
Fuck. I
We're
liked
still gonna need
I
you to
liked
come
the
downtown,
idea
Mr.
of Green
Henry.
Lantern, but I never like
We can get
actively
this all
got
down
into
on paper,
anything
Jake.
about him,
How you got fed
other
up
than the
with your
Green
wife,
Lantern
and how you
movie, of
figured
course, because I
killing
was a
her
fan
would
of that, and I
bury all
have
your
been.
Kill my own wife?
She
But,
was lost in a tramp, and you just couldn't stand it
I
anymore.
knew
Shut
of the
your
Lantern
goddamn
Rings.
mouth.
This was specifically from Blackest
So now you're
Night.
gonna
I
tell
knew
me you
of the
loved
Lantern
her?
Rings.
Ah, the
I
DA
knew
goes,
what they were
"I'll do
powered
you,
by,
remorse, Jacob."
and I liked DC
Doesn't look
Comics.
good for you, Jacob.
Hold on.
Okay.
Ow. I liked DC Comics. I liked the idea of getting your power just from hope. Like just being hopeful giving you power. I liked that idea.
Call it in and get a squad car
And,
dispatched. And check for messages.
Those two things.
I'll keep old Slugger here company.
Me liking comics, me liking DC Comics specifically, and me being like, no, I like the idea of hope making
Operator,
you strong.
give me dispatch.
Those were like, yeah, that's enough reason for me to get this.
Putting you through now.
And then I read Green Lantern,
Phelps, badge 1247.
Green Lantern Earth 1, about,
How could I help, Detective?
I need a patrol unit to transport a suspect back to Central.
about
Certainly, Detective.
5 or 6 months ago.
You have a message from the coroner.
And I'm like,
Do you
oh
wish to be
shit,
put
this is
through?
good. And then I read some of Jeff
Yes, ma'am.
Johns' run, and I'm like, oh damn, this is real good.
It's Phelps.
And then I read the continuation off of
the
that, and I'm like,
autopsy.
oh shit,
Several
dude, why did
wounds
no one
to
tell
the
me
head from
Green
a
Lantern was
blunt
this
metal
good?
instrument. Closest match would
I
be
also
a
got into
socket wrench.
Aquaman recently.
So the cause of death was the blunt.
No, the blows to the head surprisingly were not fatal. Death
Well,
was from
also
hemorrhage and shock from
written
the
by
fractured
Jeff
ribs and
Johns, the
multiple
specific thing I
injuries
read of
caused by the
Aquaman.
stomping.
And it was,
Anything
again,
else?
consistently good. Jeff Johns
Kind of
tends to be
sex
pretty
fiend.
fucking good.
The tissues of the anus were bruised about 1/8 of an inch, but no trace of semen in the
Yeah,
anus, vagina, or
I was gonna say the thing about Scooby Apocalypse.
Thanks,
but I feel
Doctor.
like the time has passed.
Operator,
for that.
give me R&I.
And I don't want to just bring it back up just to mention one thing about it and then just drop
Any word
it again.
on an owner
so
for that vehicle? License was
if I
2-boy-8899.
don't mention it, at least this way, I don't give
Yes,
too many
Detective.
things away. So
The plate belongs to a brown 1936 Pontiac. Registered owner is one Alonzo Mendez of 402 South Fremont Street, apartment 16.
Thanks. Any other messages?
I'm
One,
not gonna-
Detective. From
I'm not gonna
Captain
spoil
Donnelly. He
who
wants any and all suspects returned to Central.
makes
Interviews to be
appearances
set
and
up
shit because they
immediately.
do have some cool
Got it,
appearances
we're
by
coming
some
in.
characters. They do have some cool takes on some characters. It's very much a story that if I was allowed to, I would love to make for like fucking like AMC or even HBO or some shit. But
Alonzo Mendez.
there's one
Sound like
thing
a man
that
who moonlights as the werewolf.
there's
Don't
one
sound like a
concept
man I'd
that
let my
they
daughter anywhere near.
keep
You've got a
revisiting.
daughter.
Hey,
Spend enough
babe.
time drinking, Cole,
There's
you'll find yourself with
one
any number of
concept that
things.
they keep
Wow,
revisiting
so-
throughout
So that's why
the
you never
series.
sober up.
And like I said, the
Exactly.
series is about what if
Carruthers said
every
she took a
human
real
being
pounding.
became
Maybe if he had been a little
an
firmer in the
actual
beginning, he
living
wouldn't be in this situation
monster
now.
and not like,
I
oh, I'm
imagine
gonna
that
make bad
Neanderthal
decisions, but
routine
like
is a big hit with the
fucking
ladies, Galloway.
Women love
claws
me,
and
Phelps.
sharp teeth
I have no
monster.
complexity. They know exactly what they're gonna get.
So, because it's like a reimagining of it, and like they decide to go with a more adult view of it, they do kill some of these monsters. So an idea that they keep revisiting throughout the series is, are we killing people? And you can make the argument, no, we're doing what we need to survive, and they're not people anymore. But what happens if we find a way to reverse it, or if
Mendez,
one day it just
apartment
stops?
16.
Like, there's no way around it. We are killing people. So it's like, it's fucking real good with how it,
Here, the apartment's up on the top floor.
So it's got some concepts that I'm like, oh shit, I wouldn't expect this. Yeah. It's got some concepts where I'm like, oh shit, I wouldn't expect this from a Scooby-Doo comic. And in the same vein,
Don't bother knocking, just kick the door in.
in the same vein, I would definitely 100% recommend checking out DC Comics' Flintstones run, because I stand by my comment that it's either my favorite comic, period, or at least in my top 5 comics, period, like that I've ever read.
I don't think this is going to help us.
All-Star Superman's definitely up there too in like top comics I've ever read.
Carruthers could match the color and brand of the body.
Sex Criminals is up there too. Sex Criminals isn't number 1, but it's definitely up there.
Consistent with Celine's injuries.
But Flintstones, All-Star Superman,
We have the murder weapon. Better get Pinker down
Sex
here.
Criminals.
Why keep it? Why not throw
Nail
it away?
Biter's up there
Think these
too,
clowns are
actually.
geniuses? Thank your stars you caught a break.
But that one's not because it touches on anything deep. And Sex Criminals doesn't touch anything deep
LAPD, you're
much
under
either,
arrest.
but
Do not lose that son of a bitch. I'll go get our wheels.
but it just does
Mendez,
everything
stop
it
right
does
there.
really well. Both Nail Biter and Sex Criminals just do what they do really fucking well, to the point where I'm like, shit, if I'm looking for a horror or comedy, Nail Biter's real good, and if I'm looking for like a comedy
You don't need to do
or,
this,
like,
Alonzo.
relationship fucking comic, or just like silly sex story, Sex Criminals is fucking the way to go. It's so good.
Get in and drive.
Those are definitely in my top 5. I don't know what would be like the other comic in my top 5 for yeah, if you don't know Sex Criminals, it's written by Chip Zdarsky it's written by Matt Fraction. Art is by Chip Zdarsky, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's written by
Cole.
both.
Spit
I don't
him
know.
out.
But it's real good.
I got an idea. Get him next to my window, Cole. Keep me alongside his vehicle.
Yes,
and I'll
but
stop
also
the
no.
Son of a bitch.
SVU follows Sex Criminals. Sex
Hit
Criminals,
it.
the comic.
Clean this asshole off the road.
To spoil the first issue, is about this character.
You gotta get me closer.
I'm gonna just spoil the least amount of stuff as possible. It's about this character that can
You're
stop
under arrest
time
for the murder
whenever
of Celine Henry.
she orgasms.
Give it up,
And
LAPD.
her and another guy use that to rob a bank. And it's such a fucking weird concept. And it's done with fucking such peak comedy that, like, Chip Zdarsky is so good at that, it's a
I
gem.
ain't saying a goddamn thing.
I'm not gonna lie, it's been starting to lose me in the plot a little bit in the later volumes. Like, volume 5, I was like, this isn't as good as the first 3 volumes.
You did a grand job, lads.
Do.
That's quite a way to acquit yourself in your first outing as a homicide investigator.
So, here's the plan for me right now, because I just finished that case. I am going to FaceTime Blue, and I think I'm going to do one more case, because I don't need to be up early tomorrow.
The DA agrees with me.
and then I'll call
Brutality
it
on a scale
for
such
tonight.
as this
I feel like
deserves
that.
retribution. The people and the press of this
I
city.
feel like that sounds like a safe bet. Ooh, I got almost all the clues. All of my questions wrong that I asked were to the same guy. But yeah, so I will do the Golden Butterfly in approximately 30 minutes. So we'll reconvene if we are all able to relatively soon. If we can't, then I'll see people in future streams. But hopefully I'll see everyone soon, and if I don't see you sooner, I'll just have to see you later, and I hope you have a wonderful night.